Hello and welcome to this series of videos on facilitating running activities at the Summit. My name is Mark Dobson and we probably haven't met before, but I was lucky enough to be one of the founding members of the Summit. And when Ryan first purchased the Summit, it wasn't called the Summit and it didn't look like it does now. It was quite different. And he invited me to come on as part of the team and to bring a skill set of how do you facilitate and run an activity or a camp that really is world class, like is really dynamite. And I've been lucky enough to have that experience and set up programs all around the world, and I'm not going to try to convince you of that right now, but I really do want to encourage you to listen to some of the strategies you're going to be introduced to, because you can practice for the next 5 or 10 years on your own, or you can just listen to some people around you who've got some really unique skills and implement some of those skills to get good results. And the results we're looking at when we built the Summit was we wanted to build an incredibly magic place. And we wanted to run programs that were really world class. And when we said world class, we weren't just putting that as let's use some fancy language. We wanted anybody in the world to be able to come here, look at this place and go, wow, these guys run amazing programs. Now that can be hard to do all the time. It can be quite tricky because you get different groups in of different skill sets. We have different leaders of different skill sets. But if we live and operate by some certain principles, you'll find you'll get some incredible results quickly, especially if you really get focused on the basics consistently. So the next series of videos are going to introduce you to some of those basics. The goal that we're looking at is to really run incredible camps, and we need to be aware of what makes an incredible camp. And we've got some incredible activities at the Summit and things that people don't get to do anywhere else, and that really helps. But if you think about your favourite days in life, there are really good feelings associated with those. Some days you have massive success, and that makes the day awesome. Sometimes you have amazing conversations with people, and that makes things awesome. Sometimes you grow and learn something about yourself. Sometimes you deal with an issue. Sometimes you have a bit of adventure that you wouldn't normally have had. Or sometimes everything just feels good. There's not too much uncertainty and you actually feel comfortable in that. Sometimes you feel really, really important. And it's just because somebody remembered your name or said hello or pointed you out, and that feels good. So when a group comes here, what we're trying to do is make sure that the kids and the staff and everybody feels good. And the mission and the vision for Walt Disney was to make people happy. And that's essentially what we're doing here. We want to make people happy. But we're going to run into some serious obstacles. There are some people that are very hardened in their nature. They're going to get in your face, they're going to push you, they're not going to want to do the activities, and we want to make them happy too. And on the journey of doing that, what we want to avoid is the frustration of not having a skill to handle the situation, which builds to anger, which means that we actually respond angry to kids. As a matter of fact, you'll see a lot of teachers come through the Summit and address their kids and start with, right, I've told everybody to sit down, you're wasting your own time. When they've got that negative energy goes onto the kids, or whatever group it is, and you can feel the cringe factor in the air. We're not interested in cringe factor, we're interested in real skill. We're interested in being able to get that group to quieten down, cooperate and participate in a way that makes them feel good and us feel good, and there's no cringe factor. If you think that you need to yell at the group, if you think you need to reprimand or use your power to assert yourself to get control of the situation, it's really indicating that you didn't have the required skill. Sometimes you get to a crisis point where you need to raise your voice as a tool, but often when people are at the crisis point of actually losing it, it's because they didn't have the fundamentals in place right from the start. So the first couple of videos are going to show you some fundamentals. If you start with these principles and you set a really strong foundation, you'll be able to have the opportunity to create an incredible camp. And I know that many of you, especially as outdoor educators, want to have that incredible group discussion, that moment where a child shares something brilliant, they have this incredible experience, all the kids just start to talk and communicate with each other. You're looking for that. You need to get some fundamental principles in place so that you've got a foundation to be able to do that. So these videos are going to show you how to do it. I encourage you to look at them more than once or twice, really get used to them, and when you're starting to get stressed halfway through the season, come back and have a look. All right, we'll begin.